In our last class, we understood what are dielectrics and what are polar and non-polar molecules. So here in this class, we will learn first the relation between polarization vector and density of polarization charge. So this is again a new topic. So to understand this, let us first consider a dielectric slab. So you have a dielectric slab which is kept in between the two plates, charged plates. So let's say this is positively charged plate and this is negatively charged plate. So here we have positive charges and here we have negative charges. So in between this, what we have kept is dielectric slab. So this is the dielectric slab. So when we apply the electric field, so electric field will be in this direction. So there will be the induced charges on the two faces of the dielectric substance. So two different charges. So towards positive plate, negative layer will be formed, and towards negative plate, positive layer will be formed in an dielectric slab. So this is dielectric slab. And now the length of this dielectric slab is L. L is length of dielectric slab. And the area of this cross section of the dielectric slab is A. A is what? Area of the cross section. And this dielectric slab is kept in an uniform electric field. So there will be induced charges which are developed on either side of the dielectric slab. Now here sigma p be the density of polarization of charges on the surface and p is the position vector. P is not position vector, it is a polarization vector. So you have L, A, sigma p and P. Sigma p is the density of polarization of charges on the surface and P is the polarization vector. So from this we can write dipole moment of the slab will be what? P into AL. Next, consider the slab as a single large dipole. So consider this slab as a single large dipole with surface charges QP is equals to sigma PA separated by distance L. So surface charge density sigma is equals to what? Delta Q by delta A. Right? So you might have learned this in your PUC, linear charge density, surface charge density and volume charge density. So we are using that concept here. So from this equation I can write Q is equals to sigma A. So this is the formula that you have learnt in the PUC. So with the help of this formula I have written Q is equals to sigma A. So this is what the slab as a single large dipole with the surface charges QP is equals to sigma A and this is separated by distance L. So let us take dipole moment. So dipole moment will be what? Charge into length. And now we know what is charge. Charge is what? Sigma Pa multiplied by L. So let us call this as equation number 2, and here this as PAL as equation number 1. So if you observe equation number 2 and equation number 1, then, or if you compare equation 1 and 2, then what you will get? PAL is equals to sigma PAL. So A will get cancelled, L will get cancelled. What remained is P is equals to sigma P. Or you can also say that P is equals to the surface charge density. So this is the relationship between polarization vector and the density of polarization charge. So this is polarization vector, P is polarization vector, and sigma P is density of polarization of charge. So this is the relationship between polarization vector and the density of polarization charge. Now next let us understand Gauss law in dielectrics. Gauss law in dielectrics. So to understand the Gauss law in dielectrics, first let us consider a parallel plate capacitor with air as a dielectric between the plates. So what we have? We have parallel plate capacitor. And here air is acting as a dielectric. So in this you will have positively charged particles, and here you have negative charges. So this is plus Q and this is minus Q, and air here is acting as a dielectric between the plates. So now let us draw the Gaussian surface. So let this PQ RS be the Gaussian surface for the parallel plate capacitor, and let A be the area of each plate. A is what? Area of each plate. So each plate has an area A, and plus Q and minus Q are the charges on the plate. So now between these two plates there will be uniform electric field. So let us denote the direction of the electric field. So this is the direction of electric field. So E naught is uniform electric field. Next, what we have done? So we have drawn the Gaussian surface. So PQRS be a Gaussian surface. So you have two plates, two plates which has got an area A, and there is a dielectric between these two plates, and that is air. So air here is acting as a dielectric between the two plates. And what else we have? We have an electric field which is in the direction from plus Q to minus Q, and we have drawn the Gaussian surface PQRS. So now by Gauss law we know that integration over a closed surface E naught ds is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So this is by Gauss law. So what that means? That is the total electric flux across the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So this expression you again have learnt in the PUC. So in second year you have learnt the Gauss law, and this expression Q by epsilon naught also you have learnt. So what this means, that is the total electric flux across the closed surface is equal to the 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So I can write, so this integration E naught ds is equals to E naught A, because here we have area A. So from these two equations I can write E naught A is equals to Q by epsilon naught. So if we need what is the electric field between the two parallel plate capacitor, then I can write E naught is equals to Q by epsilon naught A. Clear? So E naught is equals to Q divided by epsilon naught A. Q here is total charge that is enclosed within the surface, and epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space, and A is area of the plate. So what we have considered here? So here we have considered air is acting as a dielectric between the two plates. But now what will happen if we suppose introduce a material of a dielectric constant K between these two plates, or between the capacitor? So let us try to understand that. So what we had two plates. So there you had positive charge, plus, 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 plus and plus, and here you have negative charge. And now you have introduced a dielectric between these two plates, and the dielectric constant is K. So the charges in the dielectrics gets polarized, and this negative charges minus Q prime will be induced on one side of the dielectric, and the plus Q prime will be induced on the other side of the other face of the dielectric. So we have understood how the charges will get induced. So this is minus Q prime, and this is plus Q prime, and this is minus Q, and this is plus Q. And here you have the free charges. So this plus charge here and minus charge here forms the free charge. So this here is again a surface. So here the net electric field will be in this direction, and these two are what? These two are induced charges, and this are free charges. And here you have a dielectric. So the dielectric constant K is introduced between the plates of the capacitor. The charges in the dielectrics get polarized. A negative charge minus Q is induced on one side of the dielectric, and plus Q prime will get induced on the other side of the dielectric. And this minus Q prime and plus Q prime on the capacitor plates are called free charges. So this and this are called free charges. So these induced charges will produce their own electric field. So that will be in opposite direction to the external electric field. So this I have explained in the first class. So the direction of electric field for the induced charge will be opposite to the direction of external field. So here what external field is, what? E naught is external field. So E be the resultant electric field. Since you have two electric fields, so one is because of the plates and one is because of dielectrics. So now let us consider E as a resultant electric field within the dielectric. So net charge within the Gaussian surface will be what? Q minus Q prime. So within the Gaussian surface, what you have is Q minus Q prime charge, net charge. Again consider Gauss law. So from Gauss law, what you can write, integration over the closed surface EDS as Q minus Q prime divided by epsilon naught. And integration over ds will give you A is equals to Q minus Q prime divided by epsilon naught. And if you need the net resultant electric field, E will be Q minus Q prime divided by epsilon naught into A. Clear? Next, this dielectric constant K can be defined as the ratio of external field E naught divided by the resultant field between the plates. So that is dielectric constant. So K, or the dielectric constant, can be defined as the ratio of external field E naught to the resultant field E between the plates due to induced charges. So that means K is equals to E naught by E. So E will be what? Resultant electric field will be E naught by K. So we have found the equation for E and E naught. So let us substitute that. So E is what? E is Q minus Q prime by epsilon naught into A. E naught is what? Q by epsilon naught A. So E is Q minus Q prime divided by epsilon naught A, and E naught is Q by epsilon naught A. Substitute these two equations here. So what will you get? So by substituting Q minus Q prime by epsilon naught A is equals to Q by epsilon naught A multiplied by K. So cancel the terms which are cancelable. So if you observe here, epsilon will get cancelled, A will get cancelled. What remained is Q minus Q prime is equals to Q by K. K is what? K is dielectric constant. So substitute this Q minus Q prime is equals to Q by K in the E equation. So for resultant electric field we got E is equals to Q minus Q prime divided by epsilon naught. So to get that we used Gauss law. So from that we wrote E ds is equals to q minus q prime by epsilon naught. Now substitute q minus q prime divided q prime is equals to q divided by k in this equation. Then what will you get? You get E dot ds is equals to, so this as q by k. Clear? So there is epsilon naught which is left. So this you can also write integration over closed surface k E dot ds is equals to q by epsilon naught. So this is the Gauss law in presence of dielectric. So we have understood what is the Gauss law in presence of dielectric. So we have derived it by understanding the equation and by understanding the diagram. So this is the Gauss law in dielectrics. So here we got E naught is equals to Q divided by epsilon naught A. So this electric field the external electric field equation we used in the presence of dielectric field to get the equation. So for this diagram we have used the E naught expression. E naught is equals to Q by epsilon naught A. So with the help of that we found Gauss law in presence of electric field. So here there is a definition for the dielectric constant. So dielectric constant can be defined as the ratio of electric field E naught to the resultant field E between the plates due to induced charges. So we are telling dielectric constant in the ratio of different fields. And next we used mathematics to get the Gauss law in presence of a dielectric. So what is that? Integration over closed surface k E ds is equals to q divided by epsilon naught.